A new updated commentary for the Fourth Geneva Convention is now available, the next in a series of commentaries from the International Committee of the Red Cross. But what are these commentaries and what is the Fourth Geneva Convention about? The four Geneva Conventions of 1949 are core treaties of international humanitarian law, which seeks to limit the effects of armed conflict. The Icrc's commentaries serve as practical reference tools to help practitioners and scholars understand the Geneva Conventions and how each provision is interpreted and applied across the globe today. More than 75 years have passed since the conventions were formulated. Since then, the world has changed in ways the original drafters could not have predicted. Technologies have progressed and international law has developed. We have a better understanding of how armed conflict affects groups or individuals differently, based on, for example, their gender, age, or disability. In particular, children affected by armed conflict are entitled to special respect and protection. Each of the four conventions protects a specific group of people in international conflicts. The Fourth Geneva Convention focuses on protecting civilians. Here are 7 crucial ways it does so. Humane treatment. The convention requires that civilians be humanely treated. It specifically prohibits abuses such as torture and sexual violence, and includes positive obligations like ensuring access to healthcare, food, and other essential goods. Non-discrimination. Protected civilians must be treated equally, and no adverse distinction may be made based on, for example, race, gender, religion, or political opinion. Protection of hospitals. Parties are required to protect hospitals from attack and facilitate their functioning. Restrictions on detention. The Convention restricts the possibility of detaining civilians or limiting their movements. Civilians must only be detained when necessary for imperative security reasons, and measures must comply with strict legal conditions. The Convention imposes protection for detainees, including detailed requirements for their living conditions. Protection in occupied territories. The provisions also extend to civilians within occupied areas, seeking to address their specific vulnerabilities. Accounting for the separated, missing, and dead. The Convention sets out a system for registering and sharing information about protected civilians to prevent disappearances and fulfill the right of family members to stay in contact and know the fate and whereabouts of their relatives. The Fourth Convention protects the work of the Icrc and other impartial humanitarian actors. Parties to an armed conflict and neutral states must allow and facilitate Icrc activities, including visits to protected civilians. This gives you a snapshot of the Fourth Convention. Comprehensive details can be found in the updated commentary, which is now available online, on the Icrc's IHL app, and in your local law library.